we go. Okay, so once again, to everybody, welcome. This is my Monday watch list. This is just what I'm looking at for this coming week. I don't claim by any means to be absolutely right or absolutely wrong about anything. These are just some trades and setups that I'm watching that I think will be good money makers and good movers at some point, and hopefully that is this week. And of course, trade at your own risk. These are just my ideas. These are things that I'll put some money on, and I might lose some money on, and I might make some money on them. But for those that have attended my Monday webinars, and for those that are in the trading group, you've seen our performance. We've got some pretty good stuff. We've found some good trades together. We've made some good money together, and done some good things. So if you follow some of these trades, you might have a good experience. For those of you that are visiting for the first time or two, I have a website, and we have a live trading group, and we do live sessions similar to this one, but with more specific, let's get in here, let's get out here kind of stuff. And you can get a free trial to that by clicking on that link there at daytradersfx.com/join. And that's my spiel for the moment. So we'd love to have you join us for a trial this week. And if you like what you see, you're welcome to stay on in the group and trade with us through the summer and through the rest of the year and through hopefully your lifetime. So we'll see how these markets are looking and playing out this week, and it's looking pretty exciting. I think this is going to be a pretty good week of trading. I kind of like weeks that don't have tons of news announcements. Too much news gets too tricky. It gets just tough. It gets tough to trade. And so we don't have a really heavy news week this week. We have an average news week. And so we'll talk a little bit about what we are going to be looking at here. The U.S. Has been through a little bit of some bumps with a lot of news last week. And again, for those that are on maybe the first time or two, I like to trade technical analysis, and I like to trade news. I definitely don't ignore the news. I know some do, some don't. Some ignore technicals and watch only news. I look at both of them equally. I think the news is important, and I think the technicals are important. And so I try to make a good balance between the two of them. And so that's just kind of my approach. I've got a couple of indicators that I look at, and we'll talk about those for just 2 seconds. And I really think the fundamentals are really, really important. I think it's important what central banks are doing. I think it's important how the news looks, because that'll affect some market movement for sure. So as far as news goes this week, we've seen a little bit of, Euro meetings. We're trying to figure out this whole Greece situation. Who is following the Greece debacle? Who's watching Greece and expecting the euro to move all over the place? Anyone keeping an eye on Greece? Anybody know if Greece is going through? Is anyone even paying attention to that anymore? Or yeah, it is kind of crazy, huh, Ralph? It's a little interesting. So right now, just kind of update anyone that's not. Yeah, Caroline, I'm with you on that one. It's I don't know exactly. They're stuck between a rock and a hard spot for sure. And you're exactly right, Manuel. We've seen some interesting movement in the DAX for sure. So exactly, the DAX moved a lot, and Greek stocks moved a lot as well. Not quite as much as the rest of Europe, but we've seen some good movements all across Europe since the market opened this week. And basically what we're looking at is Greece is trying to, with the IMF and the ECB, trying to work out a way at the end of this month, basically 1.8 billion in repayment is due. And that's really got everybody in a frenzy. Is 1.8 billion going to cause Greece to leave the European Union? And is it going to cause a default? And so on and so on. And then is that going to be kind of a contagion effect where we see Italy and then Portugal and then Ireland and then everyone else starts leaving and so on and so on. And I'm here to say that we get swept into some of this stuff. The news really sensationalizes all of this and makes it seem like everything is the end of the world constantly. And from the price action that we have seen so far in the euro pairs, and what's been going on in these meetings here, the market is just showing that it doesn't care about Greece or about this whole thing. The euro specifically just doesn't seem to care. It's not showing any kind of. This is all major Greek fear, Greek default, Greek contagion. And what's the euro doing? just going straight up. Basically, it's been choppy and then it just moves higher. It gets choppy and it moves higher. And I'm here to say that I think it will probably continue to move higher. 1.8 billion in government repayment and so on. I can't think of a semi civilized economy that doesn't waste 1.8 billion dollars or euros or pounds on a monthly basis on something that doesn't matter at all. So this whole 1.8 billion payment just doesn't seem like it's anything to really worry about. But again, I could be totally wrong, and the euro could collapse as soon as some deal maybe isn't satisfactory, isn't reached. But price action is telling us that the market does not care. The euro specifically just does not care about Greece or the Greek deal or more bailouts or a default or anything. It just doesn't care. There's some choppiness, and we'll see that while something's trying to be negotiated. But overall, trends are really seasonal, and we see things go up for give or take a year and down for give or take a year. And the euro has just started going up. The euro bottomed out pretty nicely in March, and it's been kind of holding its own and working its way back up since. We probably have, just speaking time-wise, we probably have a couple more months of upward movement on this euro. And now, something that's very important on the euro dollar is it's made an official close a couple of times now above the 23% fib on this weekly chart. Now, for anybody that doesn't know or care or whatever about Fibonacci's, one thing that I look at is whenever we get big crosses of 23% fibs, we have incredibly high likelihoods of 38% fibs getting reached. And so we have this huge rundown from the highs of last year to the lows of this year on the euro, where it dropped like 3,500 pips. And here we are crossing the 23% fib, which is right at about 11300. And it's crossing that, and it crossed it before. It closed above that 23% fib, and it dipped down all the way down into this low here of about 10800, give or take, and it's run back up again, and it seems to be holding pretty well above that 23% fib. And this is the kind of movement we like to see, because our 38% fib is now a very, very real possibility. And that 38% fib, keep in mind, is sitting up here at 11800. 11800. Here we are at 11345. I'm here to say that 11800 is a very real target. Now, it might take it a long time to get there, or it might be a couple of runs out. And it could very likely be several months out. It could be a year out. But 11800 is now in sight. But at a very minimum, 11500 and 11550 are great targets for this euro dollar to reach, and I'm pretty sure we're going to see that get hit. We have a pretty nice inverse head and shoulders pattern right here. Our neckline is being tested. We want to be long euro dollar long before that neckline breaks. And so what I'm going to be looking for, and you'll see that I'm semi-obsessed with euro pairs for some reason right now. Maybe it's that I tend towards the stressed kind of situations, because we know that they're going to come out of the chop and have nice breakouts and have nice movements. And the euro is kind of in this choppy, kind of sideways movement. I'm not looking for the euro to start a massive trend, but I think it's got more upside movement to it. So basically, all I'm interested in with the euro dollar right now is buying dips. I want to buy dips. And the two levels that I think are the most interesting right now, we have the 23% fib, which is sitting here at about 11300. And I think that's a pretty important one. You can see that that's the low of Friday. And for those of you that have been trading with me for a while, I consider Friday highs and lows very important. And I think there's some really, really good stuff happening there. So 11300 is important. If this breaks, I'm going to be looking for opportunities to buy at 11250 and 11200. I'll just be buying euro dollar at dips, and those are both good levels, 11250 and 11200 for euro dollar. And we can even throw those puppies in there just so that you can see it all good. So 11250 is going to be a great level, and 11200 is going to be a good one as well. And I'm going to be looking for opportunities to buy the dips on both of these pairs, or excuse me, at both of these levels right here, because I think there's going to be some nice opportunity around that area. Now, if 11300 breaks, these should be pretty easily reached, and it might get a little scary, like this is going to keep continuing down. And our reversal point on the euro dollar is 11050. If it gets below 11050, then the euro dollar, then something didn't work. Then Greece is a bigger deal than any of us thought, or than I thought. And the US dollar is going to just blow everybody out of the water, and it's just going to be crazy. But I'll be surprised to see that kind of thing happen. So I'm looking for buying opportunities around 11200 and 11250 with a lot of activity probably happening around 11300. But I'm going to just be buying those dips right there and trading up to a very minimum of 11500. 11500 is my target. And in case you forget what that is, if you forget the number, whatever, I'm just looking for the 200 exponential moving average on the daily chart. And that is going to be a very, very good target. And for those of you that like price patterns, we have a very nice inverse head and shoulders pattern on this daily chart. And we have quite a large profit target if this thing really breaks and goes. 120 could be potentially in sights. You never know. So that's what we're looking for. And I think the euro is going to be a great opportunity. So if I can just ingrain that into your memories, buy dips on euro dollar. Buy dips on euro dollar. And remember, this is recorded. I'm going to throw some charts up as well. You guys can look at this and kind of see all the details and review this as the week goes on. And remember, in the trading group, we're going to take actual trades here. Now, I'm talking about 112.50 and 11200, but it's sometimes a little difficult. And where do we put our stops and where do we put our profit targets and all that stuff? We'll talk about that in the trading group. So those of you that want to follow that more closely this week, get a free trial at that daytradersfx.com/join link. We'd love to have you. Okay, pound dollar has made a pretty significant run. It's run all the way up. And by the way, Manuel, that's a good observation. 11400 is a great resistance level. 11440 is a good one as well. Any major breaks above 11400, and we'll probably see a pretty nice rally on euro dollar. So yes, thanks for reminding me. 11400 is a really good one. And I'm hoping the euro dollar dips. I really want to buy a dip, but we may end up having to buy a break. That's absolutely a possibility. The pound dollar has made a pretty strong run over the last 2 weeks. It kind of was just doing nothing and looked like it was going to do nothing, and then it went crazy and almost hit 160. So what I'm looking for on the pound dollar right now is just simply, I'm looking for a very simple something. If pound dollar starts getting below about 157.50 area, which is around 75, 80 pips from where we currently are, then I'm looking for the pound dollar to get down into the 15600 zone, at which point I will be buying pound dollar. So if it clears 157.50, then look for a move down into the 15600 area, and let's buy the heck out of pound dollar, and let's target some of these bigger upper levels here. The pound dollar has been running like crazy and running great and just going. It's got lots of missed pivots up here. It's got a nice inverse head and shoulders pattern as well. You can see that here if I zoom that out just a little bit more. So nice inverse head and shoulders pattern, doing very good. It's time to just be short US dollar and long pound, long euro, long Aussie, long. So that's what I'm looking for there. So I'm going to watch this week 157.50. If that goes, then we'll be looking for some 15600 to buy some dips on pound dollar. We currently have a trade running in my trade group on this, and I will update all members on this trade as we go. We had a nice little dip down with some news and so on, and the Aussie is still struggling. It's still bouncing around. I still like long Aussie dollar above 7,600. If it gets below 7,600, specifically 75.50, but I think 7,600 will be a good enough gauge. If we get below 7,600, the Aussie dollar is probably dropping a lot more. So at this point, I'm just looking for opportunities to buy dips on Aussie dollar. And I think it looks good. I think it looks good. It's flattened out a lot, big support, big bounce, and we'll see how this goes. But 7,600 is kind of our reversing point. If it gets below that, then we may need to turn on to this short side on Aussie dollar. Okay, so I've talked about euro dollar, inverse head and shoulders pattern. I want to buy the dip. Euro CAD is another favorite. We have a big inverse head and shoulders pattern that is as textbook could ever be. And as many dips as we can get close to this 13800, 137.75 area, the better. And we're currently a little bit away from that, about 150 pips away. Below about 137.50, I'm going short Euro CAD. But anything above that, I'm trading this thing into 14500. So 14500 would be my big long-term profit target for EuroCAD, and I want to buy any dips on this pair as well. Buy dips on EuroCAD. Buy dips. 138.50 is a great area to buy a dip. 13900, maybe not. That one should be okay, but you'll need a little bit of more of a stop loss there. But 13800, 138.50 are great areas to buy dips on EuroCAD. So be ready for this one. Buy some dips. We're looking for 14500 to get reached. Don't really have much to say about the dollar CAD right now, the dollar Swiss franc. I'm kind of looking at the euro Aussie as well because for whatever reason, I just think that the euro pairs have some really good opportunities. So again, we have a nice little inverse head and shoulders pattern here. There's our shoulder, there's our head, there's our shoulder again with a crazy looking neckline right here that broke. If we measure things from the neckline straight up on Euro Aussie, it's about 750 pips or so. If we go from that break, we're currently about 300 pips, so we're only about halfway to where this could potentially be going. So I'm looking for like 149, 150 to get hit on Euro Aussie. So look for about the 150 area on Euro Aussie to get hit after this nice trend line test, this little inverse head and shoulders pattern, and it's headed right on up. We have a nice missed weekly pivot and monthly pivot up in the 149 and 150 area. So I want to buy some dips on Euro Aussie as well. We have some nice little steep trend lines that are coming into play right here. You can see those very nicely there. Let's look for some pullbacks. 14600 is a nice area. 145. 50 is a good area. Right in that general vicinity. Let's look to get long Euro Aussie. We've got these nice little lows, and this is a pretty interesting level around the 144.25 area. If we break below that, this could be heading south in a pretty big way. So just keep that in mind. But 14500, 145.50 is going to be a good area to buy Euro Aussie up to 150. So let's keep an eye on that one. That should be excellent. And those are the main pairs that I'm looking at this week. Those are the ones that I really want to get into and I really want to trade. So I'm putting a lot of money in my Euro basket here. I'm looking to buy dips on Euro Aussie, buy dips on Euro CAD, buy dips on Euro dollar, and definitely buy dips on pound dollar. But we need to get a semi decent dip on that one before I'm interested in buying. I want to see. Again, I want to see if this gets below 157.50. Then we're looking for a move as low as 15600 to buy the heck out of that thing and trade it on up through 160 and beyond. So really nice little setups there, and everything's rolling along pretty nicely. I think we're going to get some good opportunities on all of these pairs here. And again, to just kind of clarify, if the euro dollar does not dip down into that, if it doesn't break below 11300 and doesn't give me a chance to buy at 112.50 and 11200, then I'll just buy a break of 11400. I'll get in a little bit above 11400 and just take it from there. So if I don't get enough of a dip, then I'll just buy the break, and I am super okay with that. And that is euro dollar. And just a quick little comment from Manuel on the dollar yen. I do like dollar yen, and I would like to short the dollar yen, but I don't know if it's going to be our best mover this week. I think dollar yen is going into that really sideways, really choppy kind of zone that the dollar yen can do, and I have a feeling we might see a good bit of that this week unless we get some really aggressive U.S. news, which I don't think we're even going to see. So I'm gonna be watching dollar yen, but I honestly don't know if there will be a good setup in my mind and what I look for on dollar yen. So that's kind of what we're looking for. And yeah, that's a good question on that dollar yen, Linda. Yeah, 12400. That'll be a good one to watch. 125 is worth keeping an eye on as well. If we reach some of these upper levels, here's the thing: we're going into choppy markets. Choppy markets are summer, delight in currency trading, and things just chop around. So yeah, so anything above on dollar yen, anything above 12500 at or above 12500 is going to be a pretty safe short, and anything probably at or below 120. Probably 12200 probably will turn out to be a decent opportunity to buy. Now, the only reason I say that, and I'm not being controversial here or trying to contradict anyone, but this is the time where it looks like we're going to have big breakouts, and then we don't. The breakouts don't happen because this is summertime and things get really choppy. And so little breakouts happen, and levels, these important levels, end up being more reversal levels than breakout levels. And so we have to be careful of that. In normal trading, 9 months of the year, yes, these are breakouts, and we want to really get in on the breaks of highs and lows. But on in summer trading, we have to be a little extra careful. There's some big obvious directions on some currency pairs that we can be a little more aggressive on, but everything else, it'll be better to just buy dips and sell rallies, because that's probably what we're going to see a lot of this summer for sure. And then Bo, a quick look on gold. Did I move my gold chart? There we go. I've been watching this big mash that gold took earlier today, which is interesting for dollar related pairs. Gold is still in this darn channel. Now, what it did do, and we talked about this last week, is it broke out of this rising wedge, and it retested. It came back and retested that rising wedge, and it's coming back down. Now, with gold heading down, that's not super consistent with the dollar movement that I see happening. I don't see a ton of dollar strength in the near future. And so even though it's happening right in front of our face on gold, that one will be hard for me to want to get into, because I think we're going to see probably more dollar weakness than strength. And I think gold will continue just choppy and stuck in that channel. So I'll probably stay away from that. So just a quick little reminder. If euro dollar breaks 113.00, let's buy at 112.50 and 112.00. Pound dollar, if it breaks 157.50, not far away, then we're buying at 156.00. Aussie dollar, we're looking for buying opportunities above 76.00. Euro CAD, we're looking for buying opportunities around 138.50 and 138.00. And Euro Aussie, we're looking for buying opportunities around 145.00, and even potentially a little bit below. But we're going to watch this 144.25 area as kind of a possible reversal zone. So that's what I'm looking at this week, guys. I think the euro will be interesting. As soon as we get this Greek business out of the way, the euro should make a pretty nice movement and be able to give us at least one good move up this week. But any dips down, let's just buy those puppies. Let's buy them and ride that euro up higher. We're looking for a very minimum. I won't be surprised to see 11500 get hit this week on the euro dollar. So let's be ready for that. Thank you a bunch, everybody. Great to have you with us. Happy trading this week. Any questions or comments? I'm here for a little bit longer, and I will keep all of you guys updated on some of these charts, and members will get very specific updates on what we're looking at over the coming several days. So thanks a bunch, everyone. Great to have you with us. Have a great trading week, and we'll see you all very soon.